From McGregor finally spilling the beans on his USADA controversy to fans accusing him of using drugs. Conor McGregor has broken his silence about the Michael Chandler fight. The Notorious is calling for patience as his fans get more and more concerned that they won't see him compete in 2023. But somehow, promises were broken, and the hope for a UFC 296 comeback is fading away. At this point, it doesn't look like a fight's going to take place, and seeing Conor and Michael on The Ultimate Fighter is what gave everyone this false hope. But now, the Mystic Max return has been postponed until 2024. Come on, Conor. All you had to do was freaking show up. But the fans get it. According to them, there's a huge possibility that he's doping on PEDs, dabbling in nose candy, and it's no secret that a 6-month testing pool's a druggie's worst nightmare. Conor's fellow fighters/opponents have made some rough predictions, and some think there's a chance the USADA's gonna cave into the Irishman's demands and let him get away without a test. One guy who's made his concern very clear is Eddie Alvarez. The former 3-time Bellator champ is worried about the situation, and he offered Conor a match if things don't go his way. UFC fans are concerned about what's going on with McGregor too, because in a now-deleted post, he was confident that his return fight would still happen, saying things were right where they needed to be. He called his fans peasants, referred to himself as king, and told them to shut up and have patience. Way to keep it classy, Conor. How does anyone still like this guy? I mean, he's a jerk with a capital J. And where's his PR person? I've never seen a famous guy in such desperate need of having someone follow them around, telling them how to act and what not to say. I swear to God. But it's clear that he's losing his influence on his fans, and his arrogant, narcissistic behavior's only making things worse. And like the fans, Dana's also giving up on Conor. He doesn't want anything to do with the whole Conor situation. There's clearly a lot of drama going on between McGregor and USADA, and White's surrendered. He won't bash the USADA, and even told fans that if they're so concerned, they should talk to Jeff Nowitzki, the Senior Vice President of Athlete Health and Performance for the UFC. Given that McGregor's been Dana's favorite for years, Dana's cavalier attitude toward the whole sitch is weird. But it also says a lot. It says he doesn't care about Conor anymore, and that the Irishman's yesterday's news. Look, we all know Dana loves drama, especially when it involves his star fighters, but Conor's crossed a line and pissed everyone off. And even if you're Team Conor, you've gotta feel bad for Chandler. He can't get a hold of McGregor for a duel, and frankly, he's been left out to dry. It doesn't look like the bout's gonna happen anytime in 2023, so for his sake, he should stop hoping Conor comes around. Mike's criticizing McGregor for how irresponsible he's been in the USADA testing program, and to add insult to injury, the anti-doping agency visited Chandler instead. He even made fun of Conor's well-known line with the caption asking, "Where the fuck is that guy?" Fans responded to the tweet with mixed opinions, but some said Conor didn't want the spotlight because he was too busy attacking women in restrooms, while others argued that Conor's afraid to fight. The good news is that before failing to make the deadline for submitting the tests, Conor did complete his paperwork to rejoin the pool, and the USADA actually confirmed it. But we better not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's wait for more information and see what the future holds. Who knows? Uncle Dana's always had a soft spot for the Irishman, so maybe he can pull some strings. But I don't think there's anything Dana or Conor can do right now to help the situation. Most of the MMA community's given up on the Notorious, considering he hasn't gloved up in 2 years. And the funny thing is, just before his deadline ran out, he told media outlets that all of his problems with the agency were resolved, and that he'd face Chandler before the end of 2023. Experts like Chael Sonnen warned fans at the end of 2022 that the fight's at risk. And lately Conor's been too busy sending mascots to the emergency room, which isn't even the worst of his assault cases. Some fans are saying Conor's doing anything he can to stay relevant because he's past his prime. And it's crazy that he's getting more attention than active fighters, despite not competing for so long. The way things are looking now, if Conor does fight, it won't happen until the spring of 2024 at UFC 300. Because right now, it's his non-serious attitude that's leaving everyone wondering about what he wants, and after his arrogant patience peasants demand, who knows what Conor's cooking after all? Get it? Cooking. Don't take my word for it. Joe Rogan was the first to point it out. Even doctors agree that McGregor's excessive juicing's abnormal. What other way is there for a guy to put on that much muscle in such a short time? Definitely not sus, right? I mean, there's got to be more to why he's avoiding UFC altogether, no? Dana recently made a statement saying that fighters now have a ton of money, so it's difficult to draw them back into the cage, and that's likely a dig at the Irishman. Because financial disputes between what McGregor wants and what the UFC is prepared to offer may potentially be the cause of McGregor's return delays. On top of that, UFC has grown to a status that doesn't rely heavily on individual stars to generate revenue. I mean, they have been doing pretty good in his absence, right? McGregor undoubtedly has high expectations and would have no hesitation in asking for more than an existing contract. There is no denying that McGregor is the money fight, but despite being such a big name, he hasn't recently shown he can compete at the highest level. So the asking price may be too high given the quality of McGregor's recent performances and the UFC's ability to simply make money by sticking to the way things are.
A lot of self-talk and, finding myself again and whatnot. So it's been a crazy journey, Ariel, and it's just, I don't know how it's true. It is what it is. I'm happy how it's working.
Regardless, it appears like McGregor's return to the octagon is considerably farther away now. And with his history of inconsistency, boy, I don't even see him going for UFC 300. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
World tours I went on, the amount of media obligations, the amount of times I felt like I was a monkey in the zoo, locked in a cage, and they feed me a banana and tell me to dance. So I overcame a lot of adversity and a lot of hard work to get to that octagon. And then you're talking what it was.
Conor was genuinely scared when he broke his leg. Maybe he is not confident enough. I mean, he did say that it was not going to be the same anymore. It sounds funny now that he said he was going to fight at least 3 times this year. Anyway, he did seem apologetic on the My Mom's Basement podcast, saying the injury kept getting in his way, and that no one understands how career-altering it was. Honestly, I agree with him, but it's the inconsistency that has rained down so much criticism on him.
Thank God, my surgeons, the doctors, the UFC care that I had, and all the setup that I got, I was able to recover from it. And, I've got the bar in the leg, I'm able to brace on it, I'm able to kick with it, I'm kicking hard, I'm kicking fast. And you best believe I'm looking to take this guy out with the steel bar in my leg for sure.
Like, if a guy truly is trying to get back on track, why would he keep getting involved in controversies and assaults? Fans believe he is just living his life and should stop competing. Maybe that way, he'll stop wasting everyone's time. If he doesn't register himself by the end of this year, his comeback is going to be the most unwanted event. That is, if it happens. So from fans accusing him of using drugs, to McGregor finally spilling the beans on his USADA controversy. That was Conor McGregor breaking his silence about the Michael Chandler fight.